Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and today I'm so excited. I have learned to graft mango trees and I do pretty well with them. I haven't been grafting soursop pretty well, I need to learn that. And I never even thought that I'd be able to graft jackfruit because I've always heard how challenging they were. I've tried several times and I hadn't had success, but I didn't try much because I just heard they were so challenging and I got intimidated by that. Well, today on the show, we're going to talk about this tree here. This tree, and there's another tree here. There's actually two trees. If you watch my videos, you recognize the spot I'm in. This tree was really big. This tree was sold to me. It was supposed to be a black gold soft jackfruit, but it turned out that it wasn't. And apparently it was a seedling of I don't know what, but the fruit was super sweet, but way too soft to consume. And I decided to cut down the tree. The tree was very productive. I cut it down. And my wife loves Bangkok lemon jackfruit. My neighbor has a big tree, and it's a harder jackfruit. I don't like it because it's hard to peel, but I love the taste. It's one of my favorite tasting jackfruits. It's just hard to peel. But I already have a bunch of China, Boca Champadoc, and Black Gold on my property, all soft jackfruits. My wife wanted a hard jackfruit, so I wanted to get the Bangkok lemon. So I cut that tree, and my goal was to get a Bangkok lemon tree, and I did. I got this from Zane's nursery in Loxahatchee. This is a Bangkok lemon tree, and I put this here, and I eventually was going to cut that stump out. And I've heard about approach grafting, where you're going to put one tree next to another, and then approach graft that way, which is something I'd like to experiment with in the future. But that was my goal. To plant this here, get rid of that one. But something very interesting happened. This one started to grow back very quickly. It's almost outgrowing the tree that I planted. But this tree I planted is growing really well as well. So I figured I'd go to my neighbors and I'd get 3 or 4 budwood from his tree, his Bangkok lemon tree, and I'll put them on this tree and see what happens. I did it really quickly. I wasn't focusing. I did some V-shaped grafts, and I just threw them on there to see what would happen. I did them like you would do mangoes. And a couple of weeks later, maybe a month later, I came out, and they were, well, at least 3 of them were dead, and I forgot I put 4 of them. And then I checked, and it was amazing what had happened. This is what happened. This was the graft I put on. I wasn't even serious about it. It was a really big bottom shoot here. I just cut it. I put this skinny shoot on, and it was all closed up. I had it wrapped just like I wrap my mangoes, but it grew. It took successfully. My first successful jackfruit graft, and I went berserk. So happy. I just found this yesterday or the day before, and it's looking great. So I now have Bangkok lemon on this stump. Now, if I wanted to, I could have cut everything and just leave that there. It's growing on a nice branch. It's exciting. But what I decided to do was go buck wild on this tree and experiment some more. So I wrapped a whole bunch of other budwoods. I just did this yesterday. I wrapped a bunch of budwoods and I grafted them like a mango tree. I even tried experimenting like this because I saw some people do jackfruit like this, where you don't wrap the whole budwood. You just wrap it up to the top and you leave the leaves on, and you cover the top in a bag or something. So I said I'll experiment and I'll try that as well. So I did several like this and one like this. Then today I went crazy and I decided I was dreaming last night. I'm gonna go right into the tree bark with some of these, and I wrapped them and I went into it with 4 of them this morning. And I was having trouble figuring out how to wrap it because I couldn't go all the way around because I still had other branches. I know if it was just the tree bark, it would have been easy to go around. So I kind of crafted the best I could there. It looks so ghetto. Then I even went crazier. What I did here was I saw some more videos, and I actually cut open the bark, and I went right into the tree with this as well. Another graft. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 different types of grafts on this tree. If everything fails, I still have this Bangkok lemon that was successfully planted onto this seedling tree that's been great for me. And coming down here, it's a nice branch coming off the tree. So even if I cut back everything, I'm excited about that. I'm going to show you the history of this, and we're going to go look at my neighbor's Bangkok lemon tree. You see this one here I did yesterday. The leaf is already turning bad, but we'll see what happens with that. I also want to start bud grafting jackfruit and experiment with that, because I hear if you take these buds, I could take this bud out and put this right into another tree, or even a seedling, and I'll get that. So that's pretty cool. Now, if it does take successfully, I got this situation here where this tree is growing next to it. This is a different Bangkok lemon, one I planted, and so when this grows, I can also graft it, approach graft it as well. So another experimental tree. Eventually, I might have 2 trees here, so I'm gonna have to figure out what to do. But just exciting, and that's what a lot of this is about. It's about experimenting. So I'm going to show you the history, or the last couple of days of what I've been playing around with that tree. And we'll go take a look at my neighbor's tree and check that out as well. Hey everybody, here I am. This is the tree, and this is not even fully grown yet. This is a Bangkok lemon, and this tree is loaded every single year. And it tastes, this is one of the best tasting jackfruits you'll ever taste. And the tree's amazing. And he cut it back a little, but it's still humongous, and I'm excited to get a Bangkok lemon. I might even make more than one a Bangkok lemon tree, but there's just so many on this tree every year, and a nice size fruit. This is a Bangkok lemon, and hopefully my grass will work, or at least some of them does. I know well, at least one already did, but I got this huge tree where I'm able to get all the bud what I want thanks to my neighbor. So let's check out the video. All right, everybody. So I have this buddy tape. This is the kind you want to get. You can find it online. That's what it looks like. It's called buddy tape. As you see, it's in Japanese writing, but that's what you want. And actually, it's the same as this. AGLIS. That's the name. So I have these scions. I haven't grafted jackfruit successfully until today. So I'm doing several different experiments. This experiment is just the budwood, and I'm wrapping the top. And then I'm going to do some where I'm going to leave the top open, but I'll put a plastic bag over it. And the ones I have on the tree, I'll put a plastic bag over it also. So I'm going to shape up the bottoms and then go put these on the tree as well. So when I say I'm going to shape up the bottoms, I have the budwood here and I have a razor blade here. Now, from what I've learned from grafting, at least mangoes, green on green is best. And this is kind of older wood. So I'm going to try to cut some of the older wood out. And now, got to be very careful if you use a razor blade. I'm just going to try to get it flat on both sides. And the more room you have to play with, the more you have a chance of making a mistake and redoing it. All right, so that it looks nice. I think we could do better. All right, so that's looking good. As you see there, that's a little thick. You want it a little bit thinner. That side is great, but it's not 100% straight. So I'm gonna keep going. Try to get it straighter. Now remember, only one side has to take. But that's a little... Okay, I like that. Well, it's not completely straight. So I like that better. So only one side of this has to take. And when I say one side up to that. So that one's done. And I'm using a new razor blade. That's also important. Now, this one's much skinnier than that one, or a little skinnier. So And a lot of it is just experimenting. That's that. Those are those two. Then we'll come here with these two. Then we'll go and match it up. Okay, the key is you want to expose this and match it perfectly flat against the cut we're going to do. And then if that takes, it'll grow. So we got that one done. See, this one's much skinnier. Let's try to get that done. Like I said, I've done mangoes a good time. Jackfruit, I haven't done much, but I had that one that was successful, so I'm excited now to try a little bit more. Okay, that's that one. We got one more here. You don't want the sides too thick. You want them much thinner than that. So they fit in good and straight, and they fit in the cut that you make. That's much better. Much better. And you got to remember, you don't want this side skinny and this fat. You want it to go fatter to skinny, so it can fit there nice. All right, so let's get some plastic bags back here. And I've never grafted with these plastic bags, but I've seen people graft jackfruit this way, so it's all an experiment. That one, that one. Then I got these three here. So that's 5 of them I have. I have 1, 2, 3, and then 2 with that. Now, this is what I'll be using here. I'll put a link below. You can get some on my Amazon store. And this is what I like to tie the bottoms with once we do the graft. And that holds it more tight up. So I used to use a clothespin, but I find this holds it more tighter. So now I need these, and my razor blade. And I got to take some bags for the ones that are there, and let's go. Okay, so this is the exciting part that took. Here's where I grafted it. You come all the way up here, and look, it broke through the tape. So that's lemon Bangkok jackfruit on this seedling jackfruit tree. Very exciting. So now here's one I already did this morning, and I'm going to put some bags at the end of those. And here's what I'm doing now. I already cut this down the middle with a razor blade, so I'm going to stick this right in here and tie it up. And there we go. I just tied that up. And we'll see how that one does. Okay, so this is the tree here. This was a seedling tree. It was originally supposed to be a black gold, but I think I got a wrong tree. It looked like it was a seedling, and it produced a lot of fruit, but it was just way too soft. Very sweet, but way too soft, so I cut back the tree. And my goal was to get a Bangkok lemon tree here. My neighbor has a big tree, so I can get all the grass I want. Well, I planted another Bangkok lemon tree right next to it in this spot. Bangkok lemon. I got this from Zane's World. And my goal was to let this grow, and maybe I can get some budwood on that one and see if that'll grow. Hopefully with one of them being successful. Well, I put a bunch of grafts on this tree. I never did jackfruit before, and in terms of grafting. And I came today. I know 3 of the 4 grafts I did didn't work, but I came today and I had grafted this about 3 months ago, and I noticed it took, and the Bangkok lemon's growing on it, so I got really excited. So I came out here today and I put a bunch of more grafts on. I did it different, some of them I did like this, where I just put the graft on and closed up the top the way I would do with mango. But I've seen people do it this way online with bags at the top. So I did some that way and some that way. It's all an experiment, and I'll see what takes. Super excited because Bangkok lemon is a delicious variety, and this seedling wasn't working. So we'll see if all these new ones, if anyone took. I did about 8 new ones today. But I'm so excited that this one took. So technically, I can cut everything out and leave this one, and I got a Bangkok lemon tree. And if they fail for some reason, I have that one as a backup. I'm going to have to make a choice if they all work. But for now, that's it. And I did another thing here, is I left these leaves on because I learned from doing the mangoes, leave the leaves on so it still gets enough energy going to the plant. Whereas if you cut them all, the old way I was thinking was then all the energy would go here, but the sun gets on the leaves and it all works together. So we'll see how that goes. All right, besides getting all these grafts on there, I'm going to try to graft right into the stump, which I've never done before either. I'm going to try it. I have this scion I just wrapped. I'm going to cut it here and try grafting right in here. All an experiment. And all of this is because of this one that I unwrapped. This one took. That graft took over here. So we'll see how the other ones take as well. Alrighty. Alright, for the first time, I just peeled that back. Whoops, and it just came off. But I guess I'll put it right in there and see what happens. Alright, I just stuck that in there and it went down. Now I gotta try to close that up. I do have some tree wax I could put on there also to try to close it. I don't know how I could wrap that because I can't really go around the whole tree. And I put this one in the side of the tree as an experiment. See what happens. I'm going to wrap it with plastic wrap. And I'm going to try to wrap those with plastic wrap. I did 3 of those. 2 of them are older wood and one of them is more greener. We'll see. Okay, this is my neighbor's Bangkok lemon tree. This is an excellent variety, and this is the one I want to put on that tree stump. And here you go. It's loaded every year with fruit. Look at this. Wow. And as you can see, he cut it back recently. But still so much fruit. I mean, I've seen him getting 30 or 40s of these last year. Just a wonderful fruit. So I'm going to get budwood from this tree and put it on that tree stump. Bangkok lemon. So you might ask, why do I have all these jackfruit? What am I going to do with all these jackfruit? Well, jackfruit is a fruit that you can freeze. So jackfruit, mango, bananas, even white sapote, those are fruits that freeze really well. So if you have too much, you never have too much. And in general, even with all my mangoes, people say, well, what are you going to do with all your mangoes? You know, do you sell them? No, I give I give a lot of them away to my neighbors, but I freeze them. I freeze them and I have them throughout the year. So I'd like to have bigger property where I had enough to sell, but I just don't, because I freeze them, I eat them, and I also give them to my neighbors and mail some to my friends. Alright everybody, my yard's looking great. My jackfruit tree that I showed you was back there. There's also another Boca Championat seedling there. That's a soursop that I have to figure out what I'm going to do because I haven't gotten any fruit off it yet. But that soursop from Home Depot does great. So I might try to graft that onto that. And in the middle there's my Catalina avocado. That is my Campong avocado, which is doing great. That's a top work. And then I just put in the ground another China. I had a China jackfruit. I just put one in the ground because I had that spot. For those of you that watch my videos, that's where my Boca Championat was. And I ended up putting a custard apple there that didn't do well. So I took that out and I put that Championat there. Look how beautiful that tree is. That's a Rollinia tree. Nothing on it yet. And then back there is getting quite crowded. I have my white sapote. I have another jackfruit seedling. I have my Dunkin' avocado. And back there, I made my Dunkin' mango. And back there, I also have a custard apple and another avocado. This right here is a seedling of my Bangkok lemon. We'll see how it does. But now that I know how to graft jackfruit, if this doesn't come out well, I could always graft another variety onto that. And then there's my lemon meringue mangoes. This is a tree that I did in another video. This is an emerald. It was a top work from a Kerry. Now it's an emerald. And come in here. Look, I have yet another seedling of my Bangkok lemon tree. So again, if it doesn't come out well, now I can graft onto it. And there is the original Bangkok lemon tree that I got those seedlings from. Last year we had an issue with it, so we cut it back. And hopefully it'll grow back the right way. But if not, instead of taking it out, now I could top work it. And here's the prize of them all, my favorite jackfruit. This is a China jackfruit. And it is loaded this year. Loaded. Amazing. I love this fruit. Love it.